Hello, everyone. I'm back. Okay, I am now going to go ahead and get Nikki Taylor Roberts on here so we can talk to her and chat it up. All right, bear with me one moment. She is a film producer and so much more. So, one moment. Let's go ahead. Trying to get her on. Hey, Shay. All right, let's try to get her again. Sorry, y'all. There we go. All right, so I sent the invite to her. So let's go ahead. I got my notepad and everything. I'm excited. Hello, how
Uh,
are you, Queen?
Good. How are you? So
I
sorry for the technical issue.
That's okay. Trust me. It happens all the time.
It, I can see.
Well, I thank you for taking the time out to speak with me and to the fans. They're all coming in now. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself to the ones who may not know you that will know you after tonight.
Well, hey, I see some people I know in this chat. So, hey, my name is Nicole Taylor-Roberts. I'm a writer, director, producer, and I just like a good story. I like to put women on film and show our stories properly. And, I like to have fun doing this. If you're not have fun doing this, then why do it? So,
Exactly. And I love that. So, and I forgot her name that told me about you, but I thanked her. I inboxed her and was like, "Thank you so much. I appreciate." I was like, "Every queen, we celebrate each other." You know what I mean?
hmm
And I love what you're doing, and I love it. Like you're celebrating and you're making sure, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So I have questions. When did you first know that you wanted to be a writer and do the filming and be behind the camera?
Oh man, you know how like that story where like directors say they knew when they were a kid? Well, for me it was I don't know, maybe 11 or 10 and I was in my neighborhood and it was a hot summer day and we had like one of the neighborhood kids had a camcorder. So we were like, "Oh, like let's do a horror film." All the neighborhood kids like took roles and I ended up taking a director role because like I had an idea like, "Hey, like, let's do some silly horror film." And we had one roller skate, but the only issue is there was no tape in the camcorder, but we didn't care because it was like the performance of doing the film production that we all thought was fun. Like that was the activity, that was the playtime activity. And
Okay.
so like film as a performance art, that's like a like kind of a meta experience back then, but I think that stuck with me. Like I like this process of creating, ideating, filming it, and making a world, taking in, putting it on film. So
I love it. I love it. So, what was the first step that you took to do the filming?
like the first like professional set
Yeah,
or
the steps. Like, what
step.
was your first
Oh,
steps?
I was fortunate. Like um I went to an art school
Okay.
and um my teacher was like, you should do this. Like you need to do this. And so I was like, okay, and I was intimidated at first, because I thought I was going to be in graphic design. I had like this long lead plan that I was just gonna, work on Star Wars. I was gonna be, on that end. But that class wasn't available, and the film class was available, and so I ended
Oh,
up in that, and so I just stuck with it. And this was like back in high school. Um, so yeah, yep.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
When was your first break?
Oh my gosh, the NAACP AXO competition. I won that double gold 2000 or 1999. And yeah, that was my big break because then ABC came and they were like, we want you in our mentorship program. And that taste of Hollywood, like, oh, this is not just a hobby, this is not just like an art thing, like it's an actual thing, it's translatable. That's when that happened. So yeah.
Awesome. So give them a rundown of
Yeah.
your awards. Go ahead. And you're humble about it. That's the thing. NAA. I always get that
Oh
tongue
yeah.
tied.
It's okay. It's called the NAACP AXO award. It was I think it's still around. It was like a gap, like a bridge gapper, for high school kids to actually do the art and to have access into the art realm. And I think they're still around. Probably not as, I mean, don't quote me, don't come after me, NAACP. But like, I went back in the day, it was more publicized. I think it is still around, and that competition, like just that arena, kind of prepared me for Hollywood,
Got
So
you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then ABC called you. Who else is on your list?
That was a mentorship program. It was part of their talent development program. Their first iteration for that specific thing. It was like 1999, 2000, something like that. And that gave me my first access. Like I, was like a PA on General Hospital. I was doing the Hollywood thing. Like I wanted to be there, but I had to finish, college and all that stuff. But yeah, like it was the real taste of, or what I thought was the real taste of Hollywood. Especially like being someone who just, I don't know anybody in the biz. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I have people who are, like who've had various success or access to music, but that's a different thing, than the Hollywood thing. And you know what it's like, for us people of color, it's just a different hustle. So yeah. Yeah.
You were so humble. You like, oh, that was just ABC. No, that's a big thing. Not many of our kind can
Yeah.
get behind that. That's a big thing.
Yeah. I hear you.
I salute you, Queen. That is a
Thank you.
big thing.
Thank
That
you.
is a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
And so then from ABC, tell them where you went.
It was like a pause because I was in school. So I was at Northwestern. I finished up there, and then I was back and forth between East Coast, West Coast, just trying to figure out how to like make this thing have traction, because
Mm-hmm.
it's this or your backup plan, and I don't want to be a teacher. And I don't want to be an engineer, and I don't want any of that. Um, I After Northwestern, I went to Columbia, grad school,
Okay.
for and that connected a lot of dots for me because it made me like a stronger writer, like the program there. And just like, you get a taste of like the politics of Hollywood, the politics, I should say, the politics of the industry, in those arenas too. A sidebar, if going to film, everyone's like, should you go to film school? Look, if you can, if you have your posse and you have your team and you can, make that good piece of work, like a good short, like a solid short. It doesn't even have to
Mm.
be a solid feature, but a solid short, and you have the right connect, then, more power to you. But I never had that. So education was my way out. Like that, you know, that paper was literally my way out. I had no other way out. I don't know anybody, like nothing. So, but back and forth from school, I would apprentice at production houses in LA. So, Smuggler, Tool of North America. So in that commercial space, really got a taste of, what it means to be a filmmaker and the now. And this was like early 2000s. And then from there, I made my thesis film from Columbia, and I just kept making shorts, kept making shorts. And then, some would go to Santa Barbara, Sundance, and, all these different places just to make a name, in that circuit, make a
Mhm.
name for yourself. And I got a lot of allies. I made my film community. It's like find your people. So just like word of advice, you need your people. Like none of this stuff is working in a vacuum. It's very, very difficult. And work when you do that, you're working smarter, not harder, because no one can do everything. No one can be perfect. No one's gonna have like the best script. If you work together on it, then you'll have something. And then from there, like that's when, things started to take off a little bit more. I was Lee Daniels' assistant for a little bit. I've worked on different films, shadowed on different things, worked at different agencies, sometimes in the promo world, other times directing commercials. I just got my first Emmy nomination for something I did, something I did last year, and continue. I got into the AFI directing workshop for women, which is like one of those those markers that you have to go through, and it helps you and connects you, and yeah, just keep plugging and keep pushing. So
Now, you made me jump down now to my for the Emmy. That was down to number 7. But let's talk about the Emmy now then. Congratulations on
thank you.
being nominated.
Thank
What are you being nominated with then?
I have to be specific. So it's a daytime Emmy, and it's for the Macy's parade for 2020. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's a big thing.
Yeah,
That
I'm just thankful.
Queen,
I know you
you
said
are
thankful, but
doing your thing.
it's such a grind. It's such a you don't it girl. It is such a grind. It's like if you don't have God, if you don't have something that you're pulling onto, or some sort of like spiritual base, this industry will devour you. Period.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, like forget it. And so it's hard for me to look at the milestone. Because I have a goal, I have a focus. And so I'm like, okay, I can keep going, keep going, keep going. But if progress is merit based, then you'll never move forward, but if your progress is like soul based, then you can keep pushing. So
Amen to that. Because seriously, I understand that
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I started doing celebrating life with sunshine, because the society we living in now,
Yeah.
they're not celebrating one another. We're
Yeah.
not celebrating one another. We're either dogging each other out or trying to step
Mhm.
on somebody to get above the ladder.
Mhm.
When God was like, no, I want you to do this. And I'm like, I like to talk to people, but you sure?
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm celebrating, because the fact is, I'm happy. Like if I see you wearing something nice, I'm like, oh, beautiful queen. I love that. Oh, I like that dress.
Yeah.
Things to that. And so I celebrate you, queen, because it does take a lot. It
Yeah.
does take a lot. One, we're females.
Mhm.
2, our nationality.
Yes.
And we're in a world where it's men, and then here's the women, and we
Yeah.
have to do more to
Yeah.
get ahead.
Yeah. Yep. You have to do, and something that one of my, I don't know if you call like mentors or teachers, and one of these things I had in college, like she told me, Nicole, you're gonna have to work harder than everyone else. I mean, she was racist, but like I took that to heart, because it's like, all right, God bless her heart, but she was just reacting to what society has been drumming in her head. And maybe she thought she was giving me a piece of advice, and it came out the wrong way. But it's the truth, and it's unfair. And it's like, I don't know what's going to change all of that. More people who are doing it, who are just grinding, opening doors, like literally opening doors for one another, and not just saying that they're opening doors for one another. Women supporting women, like that really needs to happen, not just like a fake thing, like an actual thing. Because if you don't have like your community, like forget it, forget it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I said earlier, like this whole industry will devour you if you don't have something grounded. So
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that.
mhm.
Now, when you start your project,
Mhm.
how long does it take for you to start and
Mhm.
to finish?
Like any just like in general, or like,
Just in general, like what is your beginning and end? Like how much details are you hands on with and how you let people?
well, it depends. If I'm directing, I you need a strong producer. You need someone who's a producer who's going to be your ace, because they're shouldering, the logistics. They're providing the situation for you to just be straight creative.
Okay.
Um, so if I'm directing, and see, if in any of them, if I'm directing, writing, or producing, I'm sticking it from the beginning to the end. And it depends on the length of the project. If it's a short project, sometimes it's like, a handful of months, so let's say 4 months. Sometimes some films just take more, because short films take more because, you know, if you don't have a lot of money up front, you're gonna have to roll with the punches on when you find a cast, on how you find a crew, on how
Mm.
you find all of your other things. So, a short film could take a year to make, just if you don't have all those things in place.
Wow.
Rule of thumb, yeah, there is no rule of thumb. I was gonna say the rule of thumb is like, um, for shorts, it's usually like a couple of months, maybe 8 months, from final script to post, and like final post, like picture lock. And sometimes it takes longer. Like the last one I did was like a full year because it was a part of a program, the DWW. And for feature films, I have yet to helm a feature film. Like, that's next steps.
Oh,
But I know that takes a while. It takes a while to get things off the ground. But when you're shooting, it's, I don't know, like sometimes it's 20 days, sometimes it's, a little more, sometimes it's like 2 months. So just depends. It's
okay.
time, money, resources. That's all depends. So
Now, how do you go about doing the funding?
if you have angel investors, that's a way. If you're able to secure funds, like financing from a production company, that's another way. And the route that most people, in this day and age are able to use, thank God it's there, that platform is, self-funded. So you can raise funds on your own, get clever and creative about your own, PR and promos and campaigns and stuff like that. Um, you might do like 60/40, where like, in, you get 60% of what you need, and then someone else is going to boost you the rest. Uh,
Got you.
or let's say you get the majority of what you need to actually shoot and go into actual production, and then you have another fundraiser to get your post production, your festival fees, etc. So it just depends.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What's your highs and your lows so far that you encountered?
Highs and lows. Like just in general, or like specifically to
In
film.
general, with being a film producer and directing, what was your highest level and your lowest point?
The highs is definitely when you're on set the first time with your crew, and you've completed your first block, or your first page, and you know that high, that moment, like, oh my gosh, I have one page done. And so I got to go to bed and do it all over again. So that thinking, oh wow, I'm actually doing it. I'm pitching myself, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm in the director's chair again, because it takes a lot to get to that spot, um even if it's like self-funded. So that's a high, that first time when you're first seeing action, when you're first with your team and you've completed a day and you're like, oh my gosh, we're doing this. The low is like sometimes when I'm in the edit room alone, and I've got
Hmm.
all this great footage. Like, in my mind, I was like directing the hell out of something, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even know if I have a story here. Like, I see all my flaws. I'm like, oh, this lighting was bad. This line was too long. Like, she's like, this character is emoting, or they're affecting, and they're not actually being so. That process when you're actually left, you in front of the screen, and you're editing, that can be a very traumatic experience. And that's where you see like a lot of people, who've been doing this, like some of like the top directors are kind of neurotic, because they're going through that high low by almost bipolar scenario for those who, we know and love and have heard about. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, the when you first started doing this, are they still on your team, or did you have to change up a little?
You mean like the people that I continue to work with, or
Yes.
well, yeah, I mean, like with anything, you can just kind of test and feel people out, right? Like they might have been cool, hanging out at the barbecue, but then when they're actually on set, like some of their personality comes out, and it's not any harm. It's just you're like, okay, this is not going to work. So I've pretty much maintained a lot of the people that I've worked with and continue to work with, and that's a total blessing. Um, that's totally that's God. That's all God. So
Okay.
yeah,
Good. I love that.
yeah, yeah.
Now, how do you pick people for your stories, for your production?
Um, I rely on people who, well, I've relied on some casting people, um, and sometimes it's just like you just get a sensibility about an actor and you just know that they're the one. And if you can get access to them, you just reach out, and say, hey, like, do you want to, here's my scripts, take a read, tell me how you think. If you hate it, let me know. So if you love it, do you want to work with me? So that's how it goes. Yeah. But,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Now, in a world of remakes,
Hmm.
what kind of films do you feel need to be made instead?
Oh my gosh, that is like,
My girlfriend Shay was like, I was like, okay, Shay, because
yeah.
she likes to do videos, and so
Mhm.
I was like, what questions do you have? And she was like, answer this.
Yeah. In a world of remakes, oh my gosh. I say more remakes. There's like a lot of, I mean, like total honesty, like there's a lot of films like because I grew up in the 80s. I was, a kid in the 80s. I want all that magic back. I don't know what it was. Like maybe there was like sauce in the Pepsi or I don't know. Like back then, like films just felt bigger and grander and you were in a different world and you could just go. Like I remember when there were drive-ins. Like I know now like COVID has,
Oh,
opened
oh,
drive.
we got driving here
Yeah.
in Buffalo, one,
Oh
but
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
we do it. We haven't done it since COVID, but I don't know about that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
But I mean, man, I love genre films. And I think to answer your question, I think there should be more genre films, like more
Okay.
comfort food films, because like you go to the movies to escape. I don't want to escape to other people's problems. And we need those hard-hitting like films that challenge the culture and like push us forward. But I would love for there to be more entertaining and satisfying genre films. I miss the films from my childhood. I miss the feeling, and I did like a self check. I was like, wait a minute, is it just me? Like, did I grow out of it? Like, was it just my kid brain seeing that kind of stuff?
Hmm.
Was enthralled with it versus my adult brain that's more mature. And I'm like, no, I can still watch those films. Like I was just watching Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, it's not a kid film, but it's like the
Uh-huh.
nostalgia, like the soundtrack alone. It's like, I want to pretend that I'm a cop from
Yes.
Detroit and I moved to LA. So,
I am so with you. Like back in the day, I showed my children all of the old school. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
yes,
Gremlins,
yes,
um,
yeah,
Dirty Dancing. Like there's
yes,
certain things you can't remake on.
yeah,
It's like, don't touch that. They're
yeah,
like, we're gonna redo Big. Don't touch that. We're gonna
yeah,
redo Goonies.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
they give you like the outsiders.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ralph Macchio and all
yeah,
of them. You
yeah,
know, it's
yeah,
like they don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, they don't.
I'm
Don't.
I'm
They
like,
don't. Yeah.
honey.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could watch it over and over again. Like my top five that I watch over and over again, Pretty Woman. I know it word
Yeah.
by word.
Such a good film. It's such a
Yes.
good film. Yeah.
Yes. And us women, like, yes, come to the top.
Yeah.
Yes. We want the roses.
Yeah.
We want this. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Or the best man.
Yes. Yeah. Such a good film. Such a good
Yes.
film. Yes.
But you know what? They did the best man holiday good as well. So I
Yeah.
was happy with
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel you. And
Yeah.
I love that you see we here. We're
Hmm.
here.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I think the only modern day classic that is on par with that is the Rush Hour series. Like I'll just veg out on Rush Hour. I mean, the third one was terrible, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like
Third one was yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, y'all need to sit down.
Yeah. I was like, stop. No
It's
more.
like, I don't
No
know. Y'all need
more.
to
The
sit down.
first two was good. Now you like Lethal Weapon.
Yes. And
Come
Back to
on.
the Future, Liz was
Yes,
saying.
Back to the
Yeah.
Future. Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
my kids love it.
Yes.
We love it.
Yes.
Hey, Marty, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
You
I
just,
I think that was one of the ones that the third one was actually pretty, like the going to the southwest, going to the west was
hmm
actually pretty good. You know,
Yes.
because usually like the three in the series, the third one is terrible. Like The Matrix. Like leave it alone. You did
Don't
the
go
first
no
one.
more.
Like we know what happens, So
Right?
yeah.
Or it's just now they're making all these horror and all these
Yeah.
Exodus, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not entering my spirit now.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all gotta check that stuff because
No,
the
I was
realer
like,
it gets. Yeah. It's like, I don't know.
like even scary movies like Halloween and Jason and Freddy.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they would have you jumping. You like, who? What was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Now you be like, oh, she gonna fall. He's
Yeah.
gonna come. They
Yeah.
make it. They don't make horror movies like they
They
used
don't.
to.
They don't. I remember, what was I? Even though there were those horror movies, like the Jason horror movie, what scared me the most was the Jason Nintendo game. That was scary. Because when you got to the boss level and you fought with Jason, there's no way out. And I would just say, oh, so like the music just get you going, Like the Jason Nintendo movie, I think for me was scarier than the actual movie. It's just, I don't know.
Really? I don't know. The games I'm good with, but it's the movies back in the day. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like the lights. I'm gonna
Yeah.
notice that noise.
Yeah. RoboCop scared me when I was a kid. Like RoboCop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was too graphic.
It was too. I was
Also,
like, oh my god. It's like, what? I was too young to see it when it came out. Like I was still grooving on Alvin and the Chipmunks, like animated, and like
right.
and the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like I was just like,
I
I
know.
don't need
But
RoboCop in my life.
but sometimes we had to watch with the Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that was,
You
yeah.
know that. You like,
You're like, wait a
what
minute.
was this was a kid's cartoon movie.
Yeah.
I don't.
When you think about it, you're like, oh yeah. So yeah.
Oh, I remember PG-13. They're cussing, but not that bad. Now
Hmm.
PG-13. That's all. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like what's
You
what?
like, okay. What are your top 5 favorite movies?
Oh my gosh, stop. That's so hard. Because it always rotates. It really does. A film that I will never pass up is The Goonies. Like I like, just that's comfort food for me.
Yeah.
Let's see. I get stuck. I get lost in the like Indiana Jones world, but I have to choose, and it's the Temple of Doom. I
Yep.
think because I was like, oh my gosh, there's alligators, like that part, you know. Um,
Right?
this is an obscure one, Willow. Um, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Willow was great. So what is that, three now?
Three.
I'm never gonna say no to Do the Right Thing, you know,
Yep.
and I'm never
Look.
gonna say no to oh, this is really hard because it waffles between Titanic and Shawshank Redemption. So,
Mm.
so yeah.
Somebody was like, I love Willow.
Yeah.
Shay's like, hey, you guys. And I was thinking of that too.
Down
And this is our time down here.
here.
It's
Yeah.
their time up there. You know,
Yeah.
we
So I love all that cheese. It only works. It works there. So, yeah.
I love Mystic Pizza. Some of
Yeah.
my girlfriends were like, huh? I'm like, I love Julia Roberts. Shut up. I love Julia Roberts. And they be like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do. I love her as
Yeah.
an actress.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Still Magnolias. Well, she wasn't in it. Was she in it? Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
she.
think she was Shelby, right? She played Shelby.
Yeah. Okay.
And had me
Yeah.
crying in the movie. I was like, mm. And
Yeah.
then Stepmom, I swear, she plays them roles so good. I'm like,
Someone said they still have the VHS. Come through.
I do too. I just gotta buy another VCR. And you
Yeah.
know they're so expensive now. But I do. I have the Disney VHS, and I'm
Yeah.
like, these are classics. We can't get rid of them.
You can't. You
No,
can't. You have to
no.
like. It's different. It's different now. I think
Yeah.
yeah, there's something, yeah, there's like this interactive ownership when you get the VCR. And I'm not like at all a purist for like going back to that day because I hate, I remember Blockbuster and like always hating that I couldn't find what I needed. But there's something to like going on the hunt for that title that you liked,
Yep.
standing in line, getting some goobers. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just that good feeling. Popping some popcorn
Yes.
or the popcorn
Yeah,
that you pour the kernels in and you wait for it to heat up and then you hear it clicking and clicking
yeah,
and clicking and
yeah,
then it comes out and you got the butter on top melting. That's
yeah.
old school for the ones that's watching that don't know. Now you know.
Yeah, I really miss that. I do. I do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like having your pajamas, your girls come over and you just have your sleepover and pillow fight. You know
Hmm.
what? I need to call my girls. We need to do sleepover. But we're all over in different states. So we're gonna have to pick a middle ground, rent
Virtual.
a hotel, and just do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, we just gotta do it because we only live once and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
reminiscing and going back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what would you tell your younger self if you could
Mhm.
of what you know now?
Oh my gosh. Ooh, this is always protect your peace, you know, and things aren't as bad as they may seem at the time, because a lot of times, when you get in the panic, things feel like a dust up, and you're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And it's really
Mm-hmm.
not that big of a deal. And so maybe the bottom line is certain things just aren't that big of a deal, like everything isn't a 100. Everything isn't 100. A lot of things are just threes, and you can handle it.
Okay.
So that's what I would say to myself. If I had a third point of advice, just know the people you're around, and yeah, know the people you're around, know the culture you're around, yeah, and learn the rules, and then you can break them. So
Okay.
yeah,
Good pointers.
yeah.
Now, if you could, what would you like to change in this filming industry?
Oh gosh, all of the there's so many things. Um, the racism, obviously, the sexism, obviously, but it's the importance that's stacked on top of things that, aren't as
Mm,
important. Um, and maybe just like perspective. Uh, so maybe the answer is more humility. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
There's so much I want to change, right? There's so much that needs to be changed. But I don't know where to start except with me, right?
Got you.
Um, I'm just feeling like, if I can make a change, if I can make a pathway, then that's what I can control. Um, but yeah, yeah. So,
Shay says, I love your energy and mindset.
oh, thank you.
And Elizabeth, yes, I love sleepovers too. I feel it's you know what I mean? And she was like, she loves Willow.
Oh, yes. Yes. Hey, Liz. We went to school together. Hey.
Oh, okay.
Hey. So,
Now, being in this industry,
mhm.
we have addressed about what we face.
Mhm.
How do you see it going in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think it's getting better or is it getting going to get worse?
Like I've seen so many like top film people, thinkers, and even Spielberg himself is saying like the industry is dead, like the film industry is dead. The film industry is what they're used to, like there's still be a need for entertainment. The fact that we're calling films and shorts and television shows content now bothers me, because it's, ugh, I hate that word. I think that in some ways it's improving,
Mm,
because there's more channels and opportunities,
okay,
but in another way, I think it's being liquidated a little bit, um, because it's like, hey, come on, come on, that there's kind of like a carnival vibe to that mentality.
got you.
Um, I guess what I'm trying to get at is like with that comes a risk of reducing the value and the preciousness of filmmaking. Um, I don't. It should never be like a throwaway. It should never be an Instagram. Like people, have spent their whole careers trying to build a craft, and making images is beautiful, and having that talent, that is a skill. But storytelling is hard. Telling a story that is purposeful is hard. I'm still learning. Like
Hmm.
there is a one of my screenwriting professors, teachers, what have you, mentors, broke it down to it's a science, like, and I'm quite sure those who are like Pixar aficionados, know their philosophy of how
Hmm.
they craft storytelling, but there really is like a chemical correlation to every story beat,
Okay.
and its reaction to the human, our psyche. It's like chocolate. When it's good, it releases the same kind of response that it would if you ate chocolate. So words, stories, images have the power to manipulate us emotionally and release certain hormones and responses in us, and changes and changes us. So that's powerful. It's like,
Hmm.
um, and in the wrong hands, it becomes propaganda and dogma and programming. But in the right,
Hmm.
it could be used as a tool to really change people's minds for the good. So
I love it.
yeah.
How do you balance your work life with your family life?
Oh my gosh. I fight for that. You have to fight for it because it can consume you. Um, the work part can consume you because it takes so much. It takes so much out of you in every facet.
Mm.
So the balance is, it's a conscious effort um, to make a clean separation between the two. And so, I mean, there's no, I have no formula for it. It's just like, hey, when this is enough, or when it's too much, or I need to pull away, or I need to take, time for me and refuel my batteries and be with my family, and you know, it's that gut reaction when you need to draw a line between how much you're involved in one thing and making sure it doesn't bleed over into how you relate to the people that you love in your life. So,
Got you.
mhm.
That's good. Now tell them again how to find you because we have more people that came in.
Oh, just Rocket Light Films. That's all. Hi guys. So,
Now, what's the next project you're working on?
oh my gosh. Well, I can't say,
Oh,
but I really can't say.
I tried. I
But
tried, y'all.
I see you tried. It's okay. It's okay. Um, I don't know. I'm just excited. I will say that I'm just excited every day that I get to do anything, you know, and
Hmm.
you'll see something. So
So,
hopefully,
okay.
fingers crossed. Yeah.
Now, with you already worked with ABC,
Hmm.
the NAACP,
Hmm.
who else would you like to work with?
I don't know. My gosh. My gosh. There's so many people. Um, oh, I'm stumped by that because there's so many people. It's not just one. I'm stumped by that. Yeah, because I have like a few people at top of mind. Um, it's just I top of mind. I'd love to work with Regina King. Like, I love,
Oh, okay.
like be a fly on the wall in her world. Um, yeah, yeah. Just to be near her, and
Hmm.
see how she operates. Um, I really, as you could tell, I mean, I really love, those who are in the spotlight who are grounded and just down to earth, and they've been in it.
Yeah,
They can be
humble
bit.
and
Yeah,
graceful.
yeah,
Hmm.
and that's just so graceful,
Yes, she
so
is.
graceful. Yeah, and I love that about her.
I
Yeah,
do. I do.
yeah,
I followed her career. I love it. And the
yeah.
fact is, she don't take no mess either.
I
I
know,
love it.
know, and graceful about it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And look like she don't even sweat.
No, no sweat at all. So she appears. you know?
Right?
Yeah. And her outfits, I mean, just in general, forget like red carpet, but just like, I follow her fashionista, and she's great. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Aw. Well, I thank you. Do you want to leave the viewers with anything?
I don't know. I mean, thanks. This is like my first one-on-one live, so that's cool.
Oh, I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm usually in a group of people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Any questions for me? Like, I don't know. So, if
Look.
not, thanks for listening to what I had to say.
No,
So,
we appreciate it because one, we get to see
yeah.
the backing. Like you'll see the actors, but let's hear from the producers. Let's hear what you guys go through and what is it. Like Shay just wrote here. She was like, "Thank you for all of the inspiration."
Oh.
But here's the thing. It was hard for our kind to fight through. And my son, he's 15 and he loves to sing and he loves to act. So we've been sharpening his skills. And
Mhm.
now he's a junior. So he was like, okay, I want to go full throttle. So now what
Mhm.
is mom? I'm his number one fan besides the Lord. I told him after God, it's me. So I'm now talking to the theaters. We put him in Shay's performing arts camp.
So it's like we want to. I was like, I asked him. I was like, I'm having a film producer on. What questions do you have? He was giving me some of the questions to ask. I even got the film for dummies. You know how to start and everything because he's working on his thing. I can't talk about it because he's like, Mom, we're not talking about it until it's fully done. Are you there? Uh-oh, I see it circling. We lost them. But I do want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the invites. Like and share. Share this. Subscribe to her IG page, Nikki Space Taylor hyphen Roberts. Follow me, Celebrating Life with Sunshine. We have more to go. Yeah, we lost her. But I thank her from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate her. I support her. I love y'all. I thank y'all for tuning in. Like and share, like and share. Tell your friends about us. We're here to bring different dynamics. On Tuesdays, your girl Sunshine is bringing celebrating, giving flowers to people that's out here doing their thing, putting in the work. People don't get their flowers. You don't want to get them when you're gone because nobody can give it to you. So here on Celebrating Life with Sunshine, I'm going to celebrate you. I celebrate you, King. I celebrate you, Queen. If you don't hear it from anybody else, you can hear it from me. I appreciate you. You're awesome. You rock. Keep doing what you're doing. Go 150%. Give it your all because at the end of the day, when we wait and say, I give our last breath, we can say we finally did what we wanted to do. I fought to do what I wanted to do. My passion is what I wanted to do. This here is my passion. So I'm going to give it 150. So at the end of the day, when your head hits that pillow and you give your last breath, have no regrets. So from my house to yours, I celebrate you. Have a blessed night. See you again soon. Mwah.